God. You know, I've heard people say that you never show your emotion to a psychopath. You never show them your pain or any emotion whatsoever. I contemplate that because it's emotion that heals us. And, you know, I know that they feed off of emotion and they feed off of people's pain. But you know, authentic emotion, deeply felt, is what heals. It's what penetrates the layers of coping mechanisms so that the human can be touched and rise. So the human can rise like the phoenix from the ashes. And psychopaths, the simple definition is one who is so bolstered and walled in. Their pain is walled in. Their little child is in a literal dungeon, literally inside of themselves, barricaded out of sheer terror to cope, to stay away from the outside world, which is so dangerous in their experience, in their mind, and in their reality when they are children. And so when you wall off the little child within, when you wall off your terror and you wall off your fears and you wall off your needs, when you wall off the needs of your child, your inner child, when you sequester, when you quarantine your little child, the result is a being, a pseudo-human, because you cannot be pseudo-human. You cannot be a full human walled off from your terror. You cannot. You are like a machine, cold, hard, impenetrable. You've designed such walls to not be reached with feeling. You refuse to feel. You may feel certain things, for sure. Some of you, some psychopaths, some terrorists, you know. But you won't allow yourself to feel the thing that triggers you to be out of control. You will only feel as long as you're allowed to feel in control of not only yourself, but everything and everyone. Your whole compilation, you are entirely compelled to be in control. That is what a psychopath one who has suffered. A psychopath is a victim, too. It is just a victim who has become a victimizer, as opposed to a victim who victimizes oneself and lets oneself be victimized by another. It's two sides of the same coin. You don't become a psychopath just for no reason. No, you don't. You become one because you are hurting. You are hurting so much that you are terrified and refuse to feel your pain. You feel incapable of being there for yourself. You don't feel safe. You don't feel safe even with yourself. You don't feel like you'll be there. You don't feel like you have the tools. And when you're very small, especially a baby, especially a toddler, you don't have words. You can't put words to your feelings, your thoughts. You don't have the structure yet, the brain. And then when you're very, very small, and I'll finish this thought. When you're very, very small, a baby, you really, really don't have, you don't even have any physical power. I know, because I remember myself. But the difference between somebody who many people have been neglected and abused and abandoned and left behind, and also literally had terrible things happen to them. Abusive, physical abuse, emotional, etc. Not to diminish any of it, but the difference between those who become the healers of the world and those who become the tyrants and the herders. And not everybody is always one or the other. I mean, sometimes people have a mixture and they're navigating, but psychopaths are pretty much, they might, they're pretty much wolves in sheep's clothing. If they look like they're doing anything nice, it is not to serve anyone but themselves. It is not to do anything but to lure people, to bait people, etc. Look at all the nonprofits that are in reality, covers for child trafficking and all worse. If you could think of anything worse than that, there is worse, which I won't state here. So, and this thing called humanity, where, who would we be if we weren't limping along trying to heal wounds that we can't see? Who would we be if we could see, and if we could feel, and if we could heal to heal? Who would you be? Who would I be? Who would they be? Who would we all be? Oh my God, I mean, it's just so amazing, this planet. Such camaraderie, such unity, such gorgeousness, such support, such love, and there it exists. It's there. But there is so much pain, so much destruction, and it's been going on a very, very, very long time. For thousands and thousands of years, abuse has pummeled human beings, individuals, families, children, women, mothers, men, fathers. Serfs, the kings and the serfs, dominating, people who like to dominate people. Well, look at how these kings and queens were raised. Their mothers were never there. Their parents were never there. I mean, they were just neglected and abandoned and seemingly unwanted. And all kinds of crazy things. And then lots of sexual abuse and incest, just psychoness. And so those are the people that end up with these positions of power, and then it's begotten and begetted and passed down. This is the legacy that we're living. We are experiencing the legacies of this nightmare race of abusers. We are living a legacy of abuse. And maybe some of you listening don't know what I'm talking about. And my goodness, in a way, lucky you. My goodness. I mean, wow, like sign me up to learn, to listen. I like to know what that feels like. You know, if it's true, you know, and you're not in denial, because denial is the word of the day and the night and the millennium and the eon, denial. So, you know, it isn't that we're necessarily going to get through life unscathed and without any pain and horrible things, etc., etc. It's how we handle them. And it's how the people in our lives handle them together and with us, with each other. So that's all it is. It isn't about, you know, being perfect. You know, I've heard psychopaths that I know, you know, they love to criticize others. They love to try to tear other people down. You know, they love to lie. They're professional liars, you know, and they love to scapegoat people and blame other people. They're professional blamers because they're just so in pain themselves that they can't stand anybody who's not in pain. So they can't stand anybody who's happy. They don't like that. And they want to tear at the fabric of someone's joy. I've experienced that. Because they are suffering and they can't reach and heal their suffering. There's a barrier there. So I'm speaking to them as much as you and as much to myself, to all of us, because we can't do this alone. I keep saying this. We can't just like some of us, you know, grow and change and make a better. It's not going to work. There is going to be no better world without all of us together, changing, growing, and ultimately hand in hand. And I know personally that these, you know, they will reject hand in hand, these psychopaths. They are terrified of that. I remember one a long time ago telling me, I don't hold hands. Oh, really? Well, one day you're going to have to learn how to do it. You're going to have to stand it. Because if you don't, you'll just be part of what will bring humanity down. Wherever inside of ourselves, like all of us, this isn't just like some sort of criticism of others. This is all of us. This is me too. This is all of us. I just cut my hair myself and it was hilarious. And I used, all the curls gone. Anyway, this is me too. This is all of us. This isn't like some accusatory thing. I've never been that person. Well, sometimes. You know, sometimes you have to vent. But it's, hey, welcome. Sometimes you have to vent. I mean, sometimes we, you know, let off steam and we have to go into our little victim mode and our little blaming party and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, to heal, we have to take responsibility. Again, we don't have to do anything. But in order to heal, we do have to take responsibility. And so And how, in order to heal this entire human race, which is where we are at this point, because if we don't, and it begins and ends within ourselves. It does. You cannot change anyone else. You can only change yourself. We can only change ourselves. But we can invite people, and we can demonstrate, and we can be a model, and we can share what we're learning, and we can share how we're growing, and we can share how we're terrified. And we can share how we're ignorant. And hey, welcome. I'm just talking about healing, how this is all about healing the entire human race. This is an all or nothing situation. I keep saying this. And people are very invested because this is how evil wins. It wins by dividing and conquering. It's the first, last, and middle, and everything in between technique of war is to divide and conquer. And I've said this all of my life, very long time ago. You divide people from themselves, and then you divide people from each other. And you can only divide people from each other only by first dividing them here inside. So, you can fight it, or you can realize that this is the truth, and this is what's happened to you and me and all of us. Any of us that's in a war, in a fight. Now, I mean, it's one thing to share and have a conversation, have different perspectives, different beliefs, different, we all come from a slightly different lens. That's different. But if you're getting so aggressive that you're in a war, and there is hatred and vehemence, and especially, this is the clue. This is the clue. If you are invested in absolute tyranny of your thought, meaning that you refuse to even bear witness, not just to somebody else's thought, somebody else's opinion, someone else's knowledge, someone else's information they want to share with you just to maybe get your perspective. If you are tyrannically close-minded, stubborn, absolutely a big N-O, that's a clue that something is severely wrong. It's a clue. It is definitely a clue. And I have to plug this baby in. Hi. It's kind of up close. Do you like it like that? Do you like it like that? That's funny. So where was I? What was I saying? Someone remind myself. So if okay, check this out. So my friend, my lover, my sweet pea, myself, my other me, my me reflected before me, in front of me. The glass is half full, half empty. Totally full. Totally empty. The mirror that I am, that you are, for me, for yourself, for we, for us. That if you notice, experience yourself, because what can you do about another person? I mean, really. So you could say if you notice someone else doing this, but it's helpful. It's helpful if you notice this happening with yourself, with others, with another, that there is this situation that I just described where there is complete and utter wall, impenetrableness. That's tyranny. That is absolute fascismo in yourself. And this is not even talking about any beliefs. It's not even, somebody could be like that just about anything. I know somebody that was spent a lifetime like that. You could not penetrate them emotionally. It didn't matter what you're talking about. They could have a conversation. They could make jokes. They could maybe listen, but they were tyrannical, fascismos. They literally were a boulder, a rock, and it was even said about them that you try to move the boulder or try to move the rock, you just end up with a bloody toe, a stub toe. They were immovable. Now, can you imagine being in partnership with that person? You can't. You can't be in partnership with somebody who is immovable and so stubborn. So why would any of us want to be that way? So we are in this heightened, dualistic place of high contrast, black and white, yes and no. There's just, people can't find gray matter, the gray matter, the brain. They are in heightened oppositionness. And so that state is a clear notification. Bing, 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 notification. I mean, the bells are going off nonstop. I mean, they're just, the alarm is ringing and nobody's listening. Oh my God, help. The alarm is just bing, 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 bing. It's going off. Oh, Lord, help us. It's going off. It's just, the alarm is sounding. My friends. It is blaring. It is screaming. And it is subtle. It is quiet and it is still, but it is. The children are screaming. The children in their numbness, they are screaming inside. And some are still alive and they are screaming. Those are the ones we want them to scream because they should be screaming. You should be screaming. I should be screaming. We all should be screaming. They don't want us to scream. They don't want to hear us. I mean, they kind of do because they get off on it. They love torturing. Psychopaths, they enjoy the torture. The cat and mouse game. You have to understand the mind of a psychopath. They enjoy the game. They enjoy watching you squirm. This is what they do. You who listen, who are one of those, this is what you do. I have compassion for you. You must stop. You must choose healing. This is not good for anyone. It is not good for you. You're missing out on such beauty, on the beauty that you long for. The beauty that you long for, that you love to take away from others. You love to take this beauty away from others. That you feel down deep that you do not have. You is a psychopath. And any of us who wouldn't be labeled as that have these feelings now and then. It's called jealousy, envy, all kinds of things. We don't live in that place. We don't act out and live in that nonstop state. But who in this world has never felt envy, never felt a little spark of jealousy? It is the same, just psychopath doesn't let go, doesn't return back to homeostasis, a balance. And what's happening on the planet is really the whole reality of the zombie land is just out in full force. There is no hiding of the psychopath. There is no hiding of the zombie land anymore. All of our baggage is hanging out. Our breeches, our dirty underwear is out on the line. People are acting out as their true colors. Now, of course, the true colors, the hiccups. I know I'm yawning. I need oxygen. I need to take a deep breath while I'm telling you all this. And I need to rest. Okay, so just a little bit more of this message here before I go. There's an important point. What was it? Maybe it's for later. Something about all of us. There was something very specific. I think it's for another time. It's a big point, and it's for another time. Yeah. But ultimately, this is the crux of the simplification of this, is that when we take a side, and really any side, as I say every time, it doesn't mean that we just stand down when some horrible thing is happening and then just like not take a side. That's way too simplistic. It's not about not taking a stand. We must take a stand. Absolutely. Abso-frickin-lutely. We have to bolster up our confidence and heal. See, what's going on? The tyrant in ourselves is keeping, funny enough, the tyrant within that is triggered to project our own fear and pain onto others and make them wrong, make them bad. And basically misappropriate. This is the point here. This is really the point, okay? All this fighting is misappropriating the rage, okay? It's misappropriating the power that we have. This is exceedingly important. Exceedingly important. The enemy, the real enemy, is so clever and has passed down the technique of the art of war for thousands of years. Their skill is in distraction. Their skill, the little talent that they have, is in distracting you from the real enemy, which is them as well as ourselves when we're not connected to the truth in our being. So this is what's going on in the globe. For those of you who are still with me, are you with me? Stay with me. It's really important. This is for the sake of all humanity, my friend. This is for the sake of all humanity and for the future. I am speaking for the future, children. They are saying this. We are saying this. We have to wake up. We have to take responsibility. We don't have to do anything. We are free. But if we want to be free truly now and in the future, we do have to wake up to our responsibility inside and to make peace within. And this includes all of us, any tyrant, any part of ourselves that is a tyrant. You know, we are out there projecting in the world all this rage against people, blaming others. But where are we tyrants, even if we're just tyrannical toward ourselves? Where are we not listening to our own little child within and listening to the needs of our own little girl, our own little boy that was hurt, and we were too little to be there for ourselves? It's time. It's time to speak up, to stand up for our boundaries, to have boundaries, and say, no, I choose to be safe. You cannot override my sovereignty. You cannot override my bodily autonomy. You cannot override my mind. You cannot hijack my mind either with your television and your commercials and your movies that are filled with subliminal advertising and terrible, terrible messages. I'm not going to let you hijack my mind anymore. I'm taking back my mind. I'm taking back my power. I'm taking my own fears back. I'm going to do the work so that I'm not afraid. I'm going to choose sovereignty over fear. I'm not going to give my life and my health away to somebody else to be in charge of me. That is not what we came here for. It is not. We did not come here to give our power away to anybody. Yes, thank you. Liberty, yes, for Latinos. Exactly. We did not come here to give our power away. But as children, our power was taken from us. Those who have laid down and given their power away now as adults, it's because it's familiar. It's because it happened as children. And I just went through it. You can listen to the beginning if you want. And so we can have some modicum of compassion for ourselves and therefore others who have given their power away to the so-called news, which is not news. It is pure propaganda, pure lies, pure. Religion doesn't work anymore, so now the television is the new religion. Movies, movie stars. I mean, I love plays and stories and books, but when you hijack those things and then you fill it with subliminal advertising and messages, and people that are going to a rage, they literally have been hijacked. Their reptilian brain, the primal brain in the medulla oblongata down below, keep spreading the truth. Thank you. Share this video when I post it and upload it. Please forward it to your friends and share it on your stories. I would be honored. It's a really good one from the beginning. I mean, you let me know. I mean, we have to get this, and I know that I can get through to people who have these walls. I'm speaking about these walls at the beginning. How and why and the source and where they come from, where these walls come from, how they get put into place, the stubbornness and the lack of willingness to listen and to hear and to change. It is a deep-seated, deeply rooted, planted fears. And so when we understand these things about the psychology of a human being, we have to first feel this in ourselves, because we can't give compassion to an other until we've given it to ourselves. And other people's rage and their stubbornness that is affecting our freedoms. I mean, this is terrifying. People's ignorance, ignoring. I gave beautiful thing, I think early this morning, yesterday morning. It's a little further back on my lives. I think it's on this channel, or it might be on my Sarah West channel. About, now I got distracted. Oh, well. What is important now? What's important to say right now? So, yeah, let me close this up here for you guys. Basically, compassion, we can't give it to another if we don't give it to ourselves. And the triggering of these emotional wounds, this emotional wounding, is happening because it needs to heal. All of this sort of little silver wars, the wars of silver, those civil wars, the wars between each other, the wars between the head and the heart, the wars between the brainwashed and the free thinkers. It's all being triggered because we have to heal. Welcome. And again, I'm going to repeat this and keep repeating it and keep repeating it. This is not about one size fits all. And it is, I don't know why I said that, but that's what I wanted to say. It isn't a one size fits all. We need everybody's uniqueness. Hello? We do. This is like yes to everybody. Everyone is welcome. You know? Even the psychopaths are welcome because you're going to heal when you come here. You're going to heal in this circle because everybody's going to have so much love from the healing that even this is what's really happening. Even the ones that we label, that we on this side, they don't call themselves this. They call themselves victims. As well as other things. They call themselves, the controllers. They think that they have the right to look down on others because someone looked down on them. So they don't want to be that ever again. Being looked down on them ever again. They're terrified. So they have to amass huge amounts of what they think of as power through what in our lifetime now is through what is called money. So they can buy people. They buy people. And they use their money to buy lies and buy henchmen and buy shills and buy people's dedication and loyalty and fealty. This is not loyalty. It's not. The loyalty only comes through love. That's real loyalty. And loyalty you should only want someone who's loyal to truth and to love. And truth is something really that changes and evolves. So you want someone who's loyal to life. And life is ever evolving, ever changing. So it's life in the moment, being present, who's loyal to the present moment. Because in the present moment is truth, is love, is life, and it's ever like open. It's open. Loyalty to openness. If you're closed and rigid and afraid, you cannot be open. You cannot be flexible. And it doesn't mean that you're so flexible that you don't take a stand. No, you take a stand. This is the mystery of life. I'm giving you a master class here. This is a master class, what I'm giving you. Be sure about that. You are getting a consolidation of a master class in life right here. Things, very important things. There are other very important things. But this life thing, and maybe you can give me a master class. We each. This is not me on some pedestal above anyone. We each have a gift and our mastery. Each of us. We each are born. No one is not born with mastery. The soul, the spirit is beauty, is mastery. And it's when we connect that naturally percolates and through and into our humanity and into our personality and into our hands and our voice and our eyes and all that we create. It is the lack of connection to our spirit and our soul that creates death, that creates evil, that creates the lack of life. Evil is live spelled backwards. Living only comes through respiration, re-spiritus, the re-enlivening, the re-bringing of spirit into the body. So, I have spoken about that. My name is Sarah West Love, 3 words. My friends call me Saralina. I might change it to Saralina Love. You tell me, what do you think? And if you want some support in these things, I coach and I help people in these things. I do business coaching as well as relationship coaching and other things. So follow your heart, follow your soul. It's not about knowing, it's a feeling. So if you feel called, send me a DM on Sarah West Love, Sarah with an H, or go to sarahwestlove.com and send me a little note on my contact page. And go purchase some of my MP3s on my website. They are very peaceful, very enlightening, very enlivening, very healing. Okay? So, and this is not about anyone being perfect. I don't stand here in a state of perfection, in a state of delusion and denial and arrogance or belief in some superiority. I don't stand here in a place of superiority over. I don't stand over. I stand under. I understand. I guess I shouldn't stand under either, right? Because we don't really want to be under. But I do love the humility of the word understanding. Because it legally it has a different reference, but in relationship, relating and caring about another person, to understand, to stand under, it means that you are in a state of humility. It means you're at their feet. You're not above. You're not looking over. You're not dominating. You are open, and there's humility and a reverence. A reverence for the one who is before you. It doesn't mean you're going to let them, run over you with a Mack truck or anything like that, or, dominate you and subjugate you. It means that you're humble to be in the presence. And of course, that humility that you offer must be respected by the person in front of you. If it isn't respected, then you don't, you can be humble, but you don't just lay it out, for them to squash. You keep your guard, you keep your... this is the mysteries of life, understanding these things, how to be open, what is it, whatever as a dove and then sharp as a serpent, keep your lantern oils filled, whatever, all these little sayings, is tender as a dove and sharp as a serpent. There's something like that in the Bible, like, be loving and kind and supportive and thoughtful, and then also very sharp and quick and witted and aware. No, don't be naive. We've been trained to be naive. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you're fortunate. If you have not been trained to be naive, you are fortunate. Because I know I have, and I love my naivety on one hand because it's part of the... I've tried being jaded, and that's just a terrible way to live. It's just dark and not fun, and that certainly rises up for sure. But it's not a way to live. It's not life-giving. So it's like how to be open-hearted and how to be loving and kind and, I hear this word people call me free spirit. Well, my goodness, if your spirit isn't free, what's going on? Who are you, right? Who are you? I mean, who is any of us? What is this thing? A free spirit is rare? Why? Why? Oh my gosh, like, where's yours? Where's all of our free spirits? Wake up. Cry. That's what needs to happen. Feel to heal. It takes courage. I've said this in all of my classes, all of my lectures, all of my workshops, all of my sessions, all of these free IGTVs and YouTube, Sarah West Love channel, youtube.com/Sarah with an H West, like the direction, love, LOVE. No spaces or dots, and you'll find, gosh, I think at least 80 videos now, something like that. And beautiful recordings. Go visit sarahwestlove.com. Please don't use iTunes. People are selling my work illegally there, and I only get pennies for the ones that I do own that are on there. And they're under the name Sarah West, and there are also other Sarah Wests on there that aren't me, and then people get confused. So to know exactly what's mine, and for the funds to go for sure to me, which I thank you with all of my heart for your support and your dollars to go in exchange for my heart and soul in these recordings that are very beautiful, very peaceful, and will support you in your journey to your heart. And if you're already in your heart, it will just nurture and feed your soul. It will feed your soul. They do feed your soul, your heart, and they will enliven your creativity. I've had many, many, many people who've written books and done incredible things, screenplays and things, and been awakened by my recordings. And I appreciate your support and your donations and your tithing. So, okay, there you have it. Please comment and share. Help other people. Share this video, and I'm, touch somebody else. Help somebody see and learn and grow, because we cannot do this one at a time. We got to do this now. This is ramping up, baby cakes. This is like enlightenment or die. This is serious. All of us, tyrants and victims alike, empowered souls and creators, the ones that aren't tyrants or victims, you can't leave any of the rest of us behind. It's like, we can't leave anyone behind. The victims can't leave the tyrants behind. The tyrants can't leave the victims behind. The whole people that aren't either one of those things can't leave the others behind. There's no leaving anybody behind on this one. It just, we can't be in this divisiveness. People say, oh, well, some will be in fifth dimension and some will be in fourth or third. It's like, no, honey. No. If there's some in third dimension, there ain't going to be a fifth dimension. I mean, yes, partially, but you're going to get dragged down. I mean, we've got to all come together on this enlightenment ship of... Because those people will always seek power. They will always seek to destroy others. So we all have to heal together. We can't just demonize one another anymore. We can't even demonize the demons. They're serving a purpose, All you demons out there, thank you. I want to say thank you. You're doing a good job. You're doing a perfect job. And, but follow your heart. If it's time for you to evolve and find your heart and heal, do so. Why not? Cross over from the dark side into the no side, side-free zone. Because this isn't about a side. This is not about, not even light against dark side. No, this is about being in balance with the sides. This is about containing the light and dark in one. that each of us contain the light and dark in one, and being integrated and whole and healthy and not going wacko one side or the other. We can contain. Existence contains the light and the dark. It's when it gets out of whack that it causes a problem for itself and others. That's when fear and power and all the 7 deadly sins and jealousy and gluttony and what are they all? What is it? Fear, gluttony, jealousy. Can't remember. Yeah. So, okay. Woo! Sleep. No, that's a normal thing. All right, my loves, I love you. Thank you with all my heart. And thank you. If you're inspired to donate, please go to my website, sarahwestlove.com. And you can find a little PayPal button. And I think on my contact page, there's a button there below. Anyway, it's the paypal.com/something Sarah West Love. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's on some of my, I'll leave it below this video. Eventually I'll link it. So, and go purchase some of my books and CDs, my MP3s. Okay. All my love to you, and thank you. Keep shining. And I hope this is helpful. And share your masterclass. I know that's bold to say, but I do know what I'm good at, and I also know that I have plenty to learn. I am learning. Again, I think that was one of the points that I didn't finish. This is not about being perfect. That's what tyrants do. That's part of the handbag, the bag of tricks of the evil ones, the devil, whatever you want to call, is they try to pull a card out that says, oh, you're not perfect. Here are all your flaws. You can't share or teach or blah, blah, blah. Honey, no human being is perfect. And you tyrants out there who hate other people for not being perfect because you hate yourself for not being perfect, but you think you're perfect because you're just so much hate yourself for not being perfect, because your shame is the toxic shame has just poisoned you. Well, just notice that. Begin by noticing these things. You can unhook. I have faith in you. You can unhook from this toxic shame too. All of us can unhook. It's just degrees. We're just different degrees of tyrants, different degrees of pain, different degrees of denial, different degrees of stubbornness, different degrees of walls, just different degrees of control. You know, some people really want to control millions of people. Some people just want to control 10. Some people just want to control a couple. Some people just want to control one. Some people like to control children. Very sad. Some people like to control their spouse or their siblings or their parents or their boss or their employees or a stranger, whatever. Women, some people like to control women. Some people like to control men. Animals, some people like to control animals. Some people like to control the weather. Some people like to control the water, the rivers. And then they cut them up and move them and mess up Mother Nature royally. I mean, we are really messing up. Control is an issue, okay? So we all have to go inside and heal this issue. All of us. Because we are all have control issues. I mean, if you don't have a control issue, like, raise your hand. And I don't mean, you know, someone's in harmony with their life and stuff. It's a fascinating thing because you could just go down an endless road on this issue. Because this whole modern lifestyle that we have is an issue, is a control issue in of itself. But that's for another talk. Maybe never. Because we've got to figure this out. And the only way to figure it out is to be intuitive. And the only way to be intuitive is to live in the present. And the only way to live in the present is to heal the past. And which is being in the present so that we can heal the past. So that we can have a better future. Which is only now. There's only now. There's only now. There's only now. Okay. All my love. Hope you enjoyed this. This was a good one. I liked it. Finally said it all. I think I wrapped it up in a nice little bowl for early Christmas present. That's what this is. An early Christmas present. The light cometh. Breaking through the darkness. The light returns. Solstice. 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. That is the return of the light. Is the 24th. Let me know how you like this. Send me a text. Those of you who are my friends, DM me if you don't want to write a public message. I love your DMs. I so appreciate your direct messages. And I love your messages on my website, on my contact page, and your emails. So thank you. And your letters. They're precious. All my love. And thank you again. Go to sarahwestlove.com. Instagram is Sarah West Love, as well as my other Instagram, aka Sarah West with an H. And YouTube. Like and subscribe. Send it to your friends. All that good stuff. Definitely subscribe, because when I have over 1,000 subscribers, then I can do lives. I can't do lives on YouTube without more subscribers. So thank you for making that happen. I really appreciate it. Love you. Bye. That means I love you in sign language. That's